I'm fine as fuck. Like, niggas need to show me off.
Here's the thing though about that, okay? Look, if I'm with a girl and shit like that, and she wanna get shown off and she wanna get posted and shit, my first question is gonna be, for what? Why the fuck do I gotta show you off to other niggas who just fucking horny and just wanna be on the page all day and be in our business so that they can look at you and shit? I just want, like, you feel what I'm saying? You showing off enough. And look, they catch us in person, best believe. You gonna catch us in person, and I'm gonna show you, okay, this is my bitch. You feel me? This is my bitch. You understand me? I don't gotta post you. Unless you're ice. That girl's a liar. Buckle up. That girl's a liar. Buckle up. That girl's a liar. Buckle up. Buckle up.
What's a turn on?
When they're very... No, so I get turned on by anything. Like self-confident. I don't like someone who doubts themselves all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm here with?
Amber.
Chima. So cool. What's one thing you guys don't like about each other?
His breath stinks. He don't brush his teeth.
Wait.
Is that yeah?
What about you?
I don't like how she's always taking videos. Like, she thinks she's a bad bee, but she's not. Like, it's alright. Like, chill.
Wait, is this relationship strong? Are you man like on the verge of breakup or something?
She said that, bro. I don't know.
His breath just stinks. It smells like toe cheese.
So then why are you still with him?
I don't know, man.
What is the thing where what? When he wakes up and that it stinks?
All the time, 24/7, his breath smells like toes, bro.
You don't have to make me out like that. Like, that thing. Like.
I see man break up, I can't lie.
What's a basic bitch tattoo?
Sad bitch 1, sad bitch 2.
What?
I've seen it on TikTok.
You say butterfly?
Or a tiger. You know you are.
The butterfly or the flowers. My bad, that's both.
You know, it really boggles my mind that women to this day still complain about wage gap. First of all, there's no such thing as a wage gap nowadays. Secondly, you know why these men are getting paid good money? They're working their asses off. They're working labor jobs. They're building our roads. They're fixing our homes. And usually they're not working just 8 hours a shift. They're working 10, 12 hours a shift. They are working hard, making sure that our world functions. We had a heat warning about 2 weeks ago, and I was walking by a construction site and I was thinking how these men are just expected to show up. They're just expected to work no matter how harsh the conditions are, no matter how hot it is, no matter how cold it is. They're just expected to show up, and they do it, and they don't complain. They just do it. So as a woman, the next time you have the audacity to complain about wage gap, go try working a day in their shoes. You would not last a day, probably not even an hour.
He wants a sandwich.
You make daddy a sandwich.
Most of the time.
No. Let me ask you this. Well, okay, let me ask you this. If me and you out and somebody say something slick to you,
you punch him in the face.
You want me to smack him in his mouth, right?
That's right.
So if I take you on a date and I say, look, baby, we gonna go Dutch.
No.
Exactly. If we walking up to the car and I don't open your car door, what do you say?
Open the door.
You better believe it.
Yeah, no, I am with you. I think.
So you make daddy a sandwich.
I think I will after I get out of the shower.
This is your morning reminder that you can't afford a good attorney. Okay? Everything you say can and will be used against you, and we both know you have a big mouth. You don't know when to shut up. So, be nice to people today.
A third of men, 33%, a little over a third, of men between the ages of 18 and 29 are not only single, but they're not actively looking for a partner. So I've got a question for the men. So my comments are filled with guys saying we're done. We're not looking. We like our peace. I need some more talk from you guys. Tell me why you're done.
You know, I'm seeing more and more of these videos, and honestly, it makes me sad because guys have told women why. We've made it very clear why we're walking away. And we're walking away in droves, and it's only going to get worse because you're not hearing why we're walking away. It's very simple. Don't read between the lines. Hear these words. There is absolutely no benefit anymore to being in a relationship with a woman for a man. None. Zero. Zilch. especially when you consider the risk compared to any potential reward. Roughly 55% of marriages end in divorce and the guy loses everything. Add into it all the relationships where they weren't married and the guy lost access to his kids and had to pay mountains of child support and so on. When you really look at it, there's less than a 1 in 4 chance of having a successful relationship. Would you risk everything you have? Would you risk your children and having access to them, knowing you only had a 25% chance of success? I doubt it. Add to it the expectations that today's women have are beyond absurd. We all joke about the sixes, but the reality is that is most women's expectation. You expect men to give, and offer nothing in return. I'm not saying any of this to be mean, but I am being blunt in hopes you'll hear it, because we've said it over and over and over again. And yet, you're still asking us, why are you walking away? That, in a nutshell, is the crux of the problem. You ask us, but you don't want to hear the response. And if you hear it, you don't want to accept it. My honest advice to you ladies is this. Get a mirror, look in it, and ask yourselves, what are we offering to men? Why should men want to be with us? And if your answer is things like you have a great career or job, or that you're going to cook and clean, none of that matters to us. Not in the least. What matters to us? Peace, loyalty, and acknowledgement. Something very, very few women give to their man. And until you're willing to give that, until you're willing to set aside your ridiculous expectations, those numbers you mentioned are only going to get worse.
If marriage is supposed to be an equal partnership, why does a woman get an expensive engagement ring but a man doesn't?
I think that's just like systemic. Like that's just what's happened for the last 1,000 years.
But like I feel like the man's wedding ring is the one that is more expensive than the female wedding ring.
And it's more symbolic, but you know what I find funny is that men don't wear their wedding rings.
Actually, related to that, why is it that a woman will wear a fake wedding ring to repel men, but a man would wear a fake wedding ring to attract women?
It's just a thing to like keep the weirdos away.
Right, but are you aware that the opposite is true for men?
Me personally not. Like I can see it in like other women because it's just kind of that, it's more of the factor of like you can get what somebody else has, and like sometimes like that feels good. Like you always want to come out like the winner, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you always want to.
So it's competition, and like if you feel like you're doing better than somebody and you can get what they have, it feels good. But for me, it's just like, nah, like don't talk to me. You're in a committed relationship. I'm good.
Put a finger down if you've ever been together with a man for 8 years and this man is the love of your life and he's also a professional hockey player, and so one day he gets a contract to go play hockey in Russia and it's for an insane amount of money, so he can't turn it down, and because you're supportive you say, yes babe, go to Russia, play in Russia. So he does, and things are going so well, he's playing amazing, you guys are talking every day, you're talking about rings and weddings because, mind you, you've been together for 8 years. And he says, I can't wait to see you at the end of February when I come home, and finally the end of February rolls around and all of a sudden, he disappears. He just disappears, and you're freaking out naturally. You're saying, are you dead? Are you in the gulag? What's going on? And you text his parents, and you text his friends, and you say, what happened? Is he okay? And they say, what do you mean? He's just on vacation. He didn't tell you. So you text him, and you say, what the fuck? You're on vacation? What happened? And finally, you get a response back, and it says, I'm sorry I'm not home yet. I will be home soon. This is not a good response or a drunk response. I will text you a good response tomorrow. And that is the last thing that you ever hear from him. This man you were together with for 8 years. This is the last thing you ever hear from him. And you know that he's alive and he's fine because he comes home and you see photos of him home. And you text him and you say, can we please talk? No response. You box up all of his belongings that you've accumulated over the past 8 years and you write him a letter saying, can I please get some closure? You send it off. No response. Eventually he goes back to Russia for the second season. And when he's there, about a month in, he posts a photo with a girl. And he doesn't tag the girl, and you don't know anything about the girl, but you happen to have 3 best friends who are FBI agents. And these girls go in and they figure out everything about this girl. They figure out who she is, they figure out what she does, and they figure out the timeline of their relationship. And they realize that he and this girl had been together for quite some time. They've been together for a long time, actually. In fact, so long that they were together when he was still talking to you and saying, we're going to get married. And so now you know there was philandering. Philandering was done. And the last thing I'll say is, Put a finger down if today, November 3rd, 2023, this man posts a photo of this woman with a ring on her hand. This is a true story. It did not happen to me. It happened to my best friend of 20 years, a woman I have known for 20 years. This is not a novel. This really happened. And sir, if you're watching, you know who you are and you can rot in hell.